And welcome to our first live of the year. This year we have the global networking community of G100 that is coming to really put what can I say, a point on gender equality and how women and men are both working towards reducing the inequalities that are happening this year. So welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to have a series of speakers, global speakers coming from everywhere in the world, coming and sharing their own point of view, their own idea of what we can do, and also what we can do as a global community to reduce gender inequalities. So I really hope that you enjoy today, and my dear colleague and the global chair of G100 Global Networking has just joined us, Ma and Joini. As you can see here, and we have Anita Shukla from Germany as well, who's just joined us, and Belinda Odhiambo, who is also here from Kenya. As you can already see, we've got like a lot of global experts coming in. We've got Erkan Iskimen as well, who is coming from Turkey, I believe, and who else do we have? We have Reina. Reina is coming from Lazaro.
Curacao.
Curacao. Thank you for letting me know. And we have the lovely Kura also joining us from Belgium, right here. This is amazing. So we're going to start the round with a round of introductions. We also have other people that might not be here in live, but who have also shared some messages for us. So we will be sharing those with you. So they'll be coming from Brazil, and we will have someone as well from the UK team as well, another team. All right. So I'm going to pass the mic, if I can say it like that, to Ma. Ma, welcome.
Thank you so much, Beijing. I am delighted to be here to start the year, because we start the year with this event from Global Networking Win. We are growing. As you could see, this image, this screen that we cannot enter in that screen is because we are really growing. And we have grown also in terms of quality. We are directed, focus our goals on not only on what is gender equality, but what is balance, what is equal opportunities in this specifically special and particular way that we address what is equality. And we are innovative, and we focus on what is platform, we focus on what is civil society, and we focus not on activism, but this advocacy that make us grow, this dialogue that make us think, this connection with different cultures that make us say, look, this is not about religions, this is not to be inequality to face what is another religion. No, it's just to be together, finding local solutions. We are going to hear today many interesting position with all the support for men. That today we have Erkan Iskan, but we are going to have from India, and Susana Cafaro now is joining us from Italy. Welcome, Susana. We are going to present one by one, patient, if you think it's okay. And please, all of you, the ones who are here, and then in half an hour they will join another one. Please, 1 minute of message, and then we start with the presentation. Okay, patient.
Okay. So just to everybody will do their own, yeah.
No, we are going to do it. For example, we have Belinda. Belinda is our dear country chair for Kenya. She's a speaker, author, transformational coach, professional moderator, partnership, collaboration specialist, Forbes BLK member, and of course is a dear soul that contributes from the heart that is also part of the innovation. You know, it seems ridiculous to say that, but it's not. You know, we are professional, but we also work from goodwill, working from the heart. Belinda, you are very welcome to just 1 minute of message, and then we continue with the rest.
Thank you so much. I'm so elated to be part of this platform that is changing the whole world and changing the narrative, especially in equal opportunities. Because as an African who is based in Africa, we are not yet there. We are 55%, and we are looking forward to achieving 100%. So feel welcome. This is the platform that is going to change the world. Karibu.
I would like to say that
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, go on.
Patient Modeli is Health Wellness Officer. She's a consultant. She's our country chair for Global Networking UK. And you can imagine how many more things that she does on the backstage for Global Networking Week. To keep this platform up, you have souls like patients that dedicate their time and their soul for us. So thank you publicly, Patient, for all your endeavors for our wing to make it possible.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I was actually going to do your own introduction. So I'm introducing Ma, which Ma is a founder, and she's a political analyst and for the sustainability reader.com, and she is the global chair for G100 Global Networking. So without Ma, we would probably not be right here. So thank you so much, Ma, for bringing us together. So I'm going to go through also to Erkan. So Erkan is our global advisory member at G100 Global Networking, is also the co-founder and the management consultant at Mind Turtle. Welcome, Erkan.
Also, thank you. It's very big happiness to with you. Because humans is very important for us, because our nearly 65% members, consultant members, are human. So they are persona. They are good consultants. They are good as humans. So we support women on business world, women or executive boards. So it's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you for everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Erkan, and we are glad for you to be here. Next, I would like to present Anita Shukla. So Anita is joining us from Germany. Anita is an entrepreneur, a speaker, a networker between India and European businesses. She's also a People Planet AI cross-culture pro-woman of the Technic-Work Council. And she's the country chair of Germany G100 Global Networking. Welcome, Anita. Oh, Anita, you still mute.
Yes, thanks again very much, dear patients. I'm country chair Germany, and we're planning more events on this topic. I'm coming to that later, so I'm very happy to be part of it again, and it's always wonderful with this group. Yes, so my talk will be on putting highlights on how to deal with change management, especially in tech and AI, and how to advance in the career, and how to make the most of this. Not to be afraid of things, but to use existing platforms, and never stop training, and also see your value and see what monetary value that also can mean, with tech also. So looking forward to that.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. Okay, next I'm going to go to our dear friend, our dear friend Susana Carvalho. So Susanna Caffaro is coming to us from Italy. Susanna is the John Monnet Chair, University del Salento, and she is the G100 Country Chair of Italy Global Networking. Welcome, Susanna.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Mara, for welcoming me here and for organizing the beautiful gathering. I think that as the topic is what we can do to prevent the gap, and that's what I think the role of networking is, of course, the core of our talk, because the networking way,
Susanna, sorry, we cannot hear you. Your sound is wrong. Please, if you try to fix it, and then when for your presentation you came back with the, maybe you could use headphones. It would be good. Thank you, Susanna.
Okay.
We go to Cobra now. Cobra is our chair for Global Networking Belgium, a spiritual artist, coach, astrologer, and she today she's not in Belgium. She is in Canary Island. So please bring with us this shine from yours.
Hello, Mar. Hello, everyone. Hello, Patience. It's so nice to be here, and thank you for this great entrance, Mar. As you know, today's topic for my presentation, ending witch hunts to boost visibility and authenticity through global networking, because for me, it's important to understand that now it is a great time to set ourselves free from the old habits and beliefs to create an equality for each of us in each part of the life. So I would like to thank all of you for creating this amazing event, and it's an honor to be a part of this beautiful group. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cobra. We are happy. It's joyful to have you with us. And finally, Jitendra is Virastava, another of our men that is a strong man that support us and make us stronger. Thank you for that. We are deeply grateful for your steady support in all this time. So Jitendra come from Turkey, Jitendra from India. 1 minute, please, Jitendra, for introduction, and then we go to your presentation, okay? If you could unmute, please, unmute yourself.
Good evening, everybody. It's evening here. It's around 6 p.m. and I'm happy, and it's my privilege to be a part of this beautiful event created by Mar. And I have been talking about this gender equality and equity in various forums, and I will continue to create an awareness about this critical issue wherever I go. So, and I'm in touch with Shreya. Actually, she is the country chair in India, and Padma, the country advisory council member. And we are planning to have more of these awareness programs within India. Thank you, Mar, once again for making me a part of this beautiful event.
Thank you so much, Jitendra. We forgot one person before you start with your presentation. We also have Renai Jo here, and Renai is coming from, I hope I pronounce it properly, Curacao.
Oh, no, she lost connection. Reina lost connection. Sorry.
Okay.
Maybe when she.
So I'm going to do okay. So I'm going to do her presentation. So Reina Jo is an initiator and organizer of the annual Female Leadership event since 2004. She's also a Feng Shui master, a Pashi and Bazi consultant, a marketing specialist, career coach, and a radio host at Voz di Bonaire. So we're really glad that Reina is here. Thank you.
Yeah, we really hope she could join us shortly, and we give her word. Patient, you know that we have a small surprise for our men, isn't it? For our men from Global Networking. and I'm so thrilled that I don't want to wait for longer. What do you think? It's okay to do it now?
Yes, let's do it now.
Please, yes. Introduction, and I pass the overlay of what we have here. This little surprise for Erkam, Isken, for Jitendra Evaristava, and for Steve Costello, that is not yet here, but is in London, and then in Partner for patients.
Yeah.
Yes, patients.
We really wanted to find a way to say thank you from Global Networking Wing, for the Global Networking Wing, because this work is not possible to be done if we don't have the balance between the men and the women and the support of both into this action. So therefore, we wanted to really celebrate the men of today. So we're going to start by celebrating Jitendra. So thank you so much for the work that you've been doing, for your connection, for the work that you've been giving. We really appreciate you. And here is your certificate of appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you, Patience, so much. Thank you, Mar, for being so generous. I'm so happy. Thank you.
And then, dear Erkan, we just wanted to also celebrate you and also show you our appreciation through this certificate of appreciation from Global Networking G100.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, and there is one for Steve. Oh, Steve unfortunately won't be here today, unfortunately, due to an event, but he will still be participating. So we still are really grateful and thankful for his participation into G100. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's a very small, a modest way, humble way to show you gratitude. But we really enjoy to think that we could do this today, and to really further what is our principles: voluntary, he for she for he, and collaboration. We more than ever we need collaboration for everything, and especially to keep this balance that in this activism, this feminism, in the what I consider is wrong, that is men against women or women against men. The idea is to work together and to try to find a solution. So, patient, we are able to start. Yes.
Yes, we are ready to start, and we're going to start with Jitendra. Jitendra, is that fine with you?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine for it's okay for me.
Yes.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you. So we're going to start with Jitendra now. Thank you.
Oh. Jitendra, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you once again, Mar, for bringing me on this platform, and all the esteemed speakers and viewers of this event. Namaste from India. The theme for today's talk is Women Men Together Towards Equal Opportunities. In other words, gender equality can only happen when women and men are advancing towards the goal together. Most men are ready, willing, and already enabling ways to change the equation and close the gender gap. We have seen it in action, and now there is a data to prove it. According to a Mail report, Mail Year stands for Men's Attitudes and Learnings on Equality. This was an online research survey conducted by Time magazine in partnership with Ipsos of more than 500 men in May 2023. Here, 69% of men say they actively champion women in their day-to-day work. 64% of men say they believe men and women are equally willing to talk about gender equality. 53% of men believe workplaces across the US should be doing more to eliminate biases in the workplace. While this is a small sample, it suggests that to create a modern equality guide that works for all, we must be intentional about bringing men and women to the table. When we make the invisible visible, it becomes clear that gender parity is not just a woman's issue, it is a human issue. Not only do men care, but they want to be part of the solution. I've opted to speak on the topic gender equity and equality for global good, and will therefore focus on some strategic priorities required to be taken by countries across the globe. This is based on the National Strategy on Gender Equity and Equality of the United States of America, which covers all issues relating thereto, but I will restrict myself to improving economic security and accelerating economic growth, as full economic participation of women and girls is critical to a country's economic competitiveness. Strengthening women's economic activity and labor force participation is essential to advancing gender equity and equality. Simply put, a nation's economy and the global economy cannot reach their full potential when half of the workforce is left behind. To achieve an equitable recovery at home and abroad, heads of states of countries across the globe must ensure that all people have equal access to good, well-paying jobs, address the persistent gender discrimination and systemic barriers to full workforce participation, invest in and strengthen the care infrastructure on which the economy depends, and promote financial inclusion and close the gender wealth gap. Therefore, number one, to strengthen their economic competitiveness and support working families, countries need to ensure that women have the support they need to enter, stay, and advance in the labor force, and encourage their access to well-paying, good quality jobs. To close the gender wage gap, countries will need to work for strengthening laws prohibiting wage discrimination on the basis of gender, race, and other characteristics, and will have to increase resources for enforcement. Number three, to help rebuild the economy and lower cost for working families, governments will need to invest in their country's care infrastructure. They will have to ensure that families have access to affordable, high-quality childcare, cutting costs of childcare by more than half for most families. They will have to promote universal pre-kindergarten education, giving a head start to the earliest learners and boosting labor force participation, as well as extend and expand tax credits like the child tax credit in the US, so that parents can cover everything from buying diapers to putting food on the table to paying the rent on mortgage. Number four, women are likely to live in poverty than men and significantly more likely to retire in poverty. To give them the opportunity to build, maintain, and pass on wealth, countries will need to address barriers that erode women's earnings and impair their financial security, such as income inequality, debt burdens, lack of access to financial services and housing costs, and support the growth of women-led businesses. So far as India is concerned, here is what I have to say. At the World Economic Forum's 54th Annual General Meeting, which took place in Davos, Switzerland, 10 days ago from January 15 to 19, a landmark initiative has been unveiled by the Indian delegation headed by Mrs. Smriti Zubin Irani, Union Minister of Women and Child Development and Minority Affairs. This initiative, known as the Alliance for Global Good, Gender Equity and Equality, symbolizes a pivotal step in India's commitment to championing gender equality on the global stage. The genesis of this alliance is rooted in the principles outlined in the G20 Leaders Declaration, reflecting Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision for women-led development. The alliance's core mission is to energize global best practices and mobilize investment in key sectors such as women's health, education, and entrepreneurship. This endeavor aligns with the broader goals of the G20, notably through initiatives such as Business 20, Women 20, and G20 Empower. At the WEF meeting, Honorable Minister underscored the critical role of collaboration across industry, enterprise, and social sectors in forging this alliance. India's progressive and inclusive growth narrative has gained commendation from the WEF community. The alliance has garnered considerable support from a diverse array of industry leaders and organizations, including major corporations and over 10,000 industry partners. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation came forward to support this initiative with the Confederation of Indian Industry Center for Women Leadership serving as the alliance's operational hub. The World Economic Forum and Invest India have joined as network and institutional partners, respectively, marking a significant confluence of global stakeholders. The alliance resonates with India's guiding principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is, the whole world is one family, envisioning a unified global family, and is committed to inclusive development, that is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, and Sabka Prayas, which means together we all progress and with each other's efforts. It aims to be a driving force in tackling gender-related challenges worldwide. A notable feature of this year's WEF was the establishment of the We Lead Launch, a first of its kind initiative by CII, Confederation of Indian Industry, and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, aimed at promoting women's leadership. This launch hosted discussions and exhibited products from women entrepreneurs, emphasizing the critical role of women in economic growth and development. India's policy initiatives and commitment to gender equality and women-led development continues to be a priority. India's commitment to gender equity and equality has received global endorsement, thus reinforcing its role as a leader in advocating for a more gender-inclusive future. I will very briefly touch on another issue in this area, that is eliminating gender-based violence. Now, gender-based violence is endemic in our communities.
1 minute, 1 minute, Jitendra, please. Sorry, 1 minute, please.
Okay. In the US, about 1 in 4 women and nearly 1 in 10 men reported being impacted by violence or stalking by an intimate partner. And globally, 1 in 3 women across their lifetimes are subjected to violence by an intimate or non-partner. So I'll sign off with these lines by Robert Frost. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but we have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jitendra. You go, Ma. You go.
No, just this. We were, you know, Patient and I were enthusiastic to tell you thank you. That's amazing because it was always inspired. And sorry to have to ask you to end because we have so many today that we kind of have this joy to continue listening to you. But it's always a learning. It's a learning process each time that I listen to you. So thank you, Jitendra, for being with us. Yes, Patient. Belinda, now are you ready, Belinda?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so go ahead, please, with your always powerful words and message.
Thank you so much once again. I would just like to appreciate Mar together with the team for organizing such a very good event to talk about gender equality and just equal opportunities. And today, my topic is strategic collaboration between women and men towards achieving equal opportunities. Because I'm a media executive, I love storytelling, and I would love to start with a story. You see, in 1987, on the December 12th, my mom gave birth to a firstborn, that is me, and a girl. Then she later gave birth to our secondborn, still a girl. And according to our culture, in the African culture, a parent is considered a parent when they give birth to a baby boy. Sometimes girls are set aside or neglected or considered not to be children enough according to our culture. But I want to start by saying that we are born looking like our parents, but we die looking like our decisions. We are not supposed to stick to our culture. Our culture might have very wrong beliefs that can degrade gender, especially when it comes to women. So in Africa, the setup has been standardized, or the standard has been set for women to an extent that women are judged by their marital status, women are judged by their physique, women are judged by their ability to give birth to children, women are judged by their ability to conceive. If you don't do any of these things, then you're not a woman enough. But today, I want to encourage both women and men to come together, collaborate, and support women. Just as President Obama quoted, I will read the quote. In June 13th, 2013, that we support societies that empower women because no country will reach its potential unless it draws on the talents of our wives, our mothers, our sisters, and our daughters. You can measure how well a country does by how it treats its women. That was the former president, Barack Obama. So we need to support women. We need to come together to help women to realize their dreams. We need to help women to get to reach or realize their full potentials. According to, there's a research that was done by I believe Mo is Mohammed Ibrahim Foundation, said we have achieved only 55% of women's equality. And together we can come together because we know that collaboration is the new currency. And as our Swahili saying goes, that kidole kimoja hakivunji chawa. That means that you cannot kill a tick. A tick is it's an insect. You cannot kill that insect with one finger. You have to bring two fingers together. So in this instance, I call upon women and men to come together so that we can work and empower both our women, our daughters, the wives, so that the whole continent can achieve gender equality and equity. Countries in Africa have taken significant steps in implementing legal changes that promote gender equality. These reforms have created a more enabling environment for women to participate in the economy, unlocking their potential and contributing to overall socio-economic development. So if I was neglected because our culture was supposed to make me to be neglected, or our culture had shaped us to set aside women. If my parents did that, today I wouldn't be here. But because my dad and my mom thought differently and decided to empower us, we went to the best schools according to what they could afford back then, together with my siblings. We are here today because of that empowerment. So it is not about competition. We are not supposed to compete, but it's about collaboration, because collaboration is the new currency. So I'm very glad, and I know that we will be organizing many, many more events to bring women and more men together, and we'll have such platforms concurrently. We'll do them in different countries and help the woman's voice to be heard. Without further ado, I stop there, and I thank you all. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Belinda. That was beautiful. I love the way you put this idea of how also cultural, cultural background is also affecting the way we can battle, if I can say, gender equality, and the story you shared about your parents. Thank you so much about that. So we're going to move to our next guest speaker, who is going to be Mr. Erkan. And Mr. Erkan is going to talk to us about, I'm going to leave you to tell us more about it. Oh.
Okay. Hi everyone. I think the presentation. Do you can see? You can see presentation? Yes. Okay. Hi everyone. It's every time proud and happiness being with G100, and this organization I think will shape the world. Is shaping the world. So it is an honor to be part of it. Today, my subject is independent board membership career option for women. It's a hot issue in business world, global business world, for every country. In some countries, it is compulsory. In Europe, especially in West Europe, it is compulsory. Many companies have to have some woman independent board member or board member. So I will emphasize this issue today. So there's a question. Start with a question. For all over the world, our companies are smart enough. Let's stop. Are they smart enough, or are they sustainable enough? Okay, there is no ending. There is no excellence in business, so it's not enough. But I think the biggest part for smart or sustainable companies, biggest missing point is women. I think in management we need more women voice. Why? Because there is a research about that. For 13 years in world, these are prizes, share prizes of companies. World with no woman on board, all male boards, and also one or more women board membership. You can see the difference. It's a huge gap. So share price is higher and higher when you include the woman part on board. And why this is so like that? Because there is evidence about that. So when we put women on board, on executive board or board of directors, we will achieve higher firm performance. So better returns on assets, stronger earning quality, enhanced firm value, tighter internal controls, increased ethical and social compliance, and reduced instance of fraud, insider trading, So we can mention about a more ethical company, more ethical business domain with humans. So another dimension of that is increased board effectiveness, decision-making effectiveness. So we can achieve stronger control over companies in strategic direction, and more active on board meetings, reduced levels of conflicts, and greater emphasis on board development, and also increased willingness to replace underperforming CEOs. Women are really good decision makers. So they contribute higher quality decisions on boards. So the third dimension is the influence of monitoring and reporting of executive boards. There are reduced risk of financial restatement, more conservative approach to earnings statements, and increasing transparency and disclosure. These are evidence-based, research-based outputs. So more and more, if we have women on board, it is good for bottom line. It is good for developing a broad talent pool at all levels. So if you have a role model in board, so under in organization, they can take role model. They want to work in that companies. Diverse voices, equal new ideas, better decisions, transformational leadership, and ethics again. And let's look at some statistics. In many industries, most of industries, we can see below 50% the number of women in boards. And especially, I will emphasize in some industries like infrastructure, manufacturing, energy, these are board members are below 20%. So we should work on it. It is evolving, okay, but we can observe there is no equality here. So we should work on it in all over the world. But we have some good news. Last 5 years, we can see the board memberships of women is getting higher and higher. It's not enough, but it is evolving. So, for example, for United Kingdom Stock Exchange, just 10% of companies has no woman board member. Most of them has. And you can see in London Stock Exchange, if you have a woman in board, you have more profit margin. If you have women as a company, you have women above 50%, it means at least 70% more profit you have. It's very interesting. And also, let's look at independent board membership career. Why I recommend independent board membership for women? Because especially after COVID-19, working trends increasingly fastly transform. Remote working, flexible working, freelancers is now natural. Before pandemic, it is maybe marginal. Now it is a normal thing. So startups all over the world, we have startups, so they need board member. So there's many tech trends, communication, collaboration technology like this, or like Zoom, or like other tools. We can work in different countries together. So there is translation technologies. If you have a headset with translation, so there is no language barrier now. There is no distance barrier now. So we can connect the world with that type of board memberships. So AI, robotics, and IoT, Internet of Things, are other technologies support that type of working. So there's expertise or talent scarcity in the world. So companies should utilize with some expertise together. So labor cost is higher and higher. difficulties of talent access. So that type of things put more importance to freelancer work, consultant work, and also independent board membership. So what about values and expectations? Everybody many people want diversity, equity, and inclusion. Most people want work-life balance, freedom, mobility, and life quality versus revenue. So that type of trends put independent board membership is a good choice for companies and also for women. So what board members do? I put here just 4 main areas: strategy and innovation, governance and compliance, leadership and succession planning, and oversight and risk management. If you choose to be a board member or independent board member, you should learn these domains. And what board members should know? This is a competence sham of a board member do. Knowledge side, finance, strategy, leadership, corporate governance, in mindset dimension, aware of self and others, independent, perform-oriented, professional, and ethical. On skill side, strategical thinking, analyzes, decision-making, communication, leadership, and influencing. This can be a guide for people, for women who want to be an independent board member. So where to start? I put here 2 quotes of 2 people. First is legendary psychologist Jung. Your vision will become clearly only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. It's first quote. And as a final quote from a woman, Charlotte Bronte is a novelist author. She said, "I'm no bird, and no net ensnares me. I'm free human being with an independent will." So this is the maybe where will we start from our heart and belief and get prepared for independent board memberships. And also any people can come Mind Turtle, our consulting platform. We will support you also. Thank you for your time, and thank you for other speakers.
Thank you so much, Erkan. It was absolutely great as always. Thank you so much for bringing to the stage the two aspects that are key in any debate about gender equality. You know, that there's more women, more profits, and we don't have barriers. We have to jump into the train of the new trends. And Patient, I don't know if the agenda, if it's okay if I go with my presentation. Yes, Patient?
Yeah, we're going to have to do that. So yeah, you can go ahead, Ma. Thank you.
Thank you. So it's exactly on that line that I work on my presentation, as Erkan is saying, the matter of no barriers. No? But to have no barriers is not about anarchy or arbitrary policies. It's about that. It's about to be open to all the barriers, all the challenge, and try to find different solutions. And you see, I use in the background the fabric, and it had a whole meaning, because I wanted to go to the fabric of what is gender equality. All the people put names. This is about public policies, private sector, civil society, myself as well. I do it. But today I wanted to be focused on the real fabric, and that's why you see these strips. Well, what the meaning is, this is white and blue. Don't necessarily have to be black and white. It's not that we are feminist or not feminist, activist or not activist. And we need to work on that, because if not, this kind of delay that we have, it would take 100 years to get into gender equality. and the private sector is resistant, and the public policies are not correct. So it's not black and white. Let's go to the fabric, what would really need. I'll think of what is the SDG 5, gender equality. Things to do, that's what they say, things to do. And what they say, we need equal pay, we need donations, we need to overcome stereotypes, working on stereotypes, we need more women leaders, and we have to be against harassment. This is the main action that they're asking us to do it. But how do we do it? Because it depends on which sector do we hear, it will be different. The SDGs in itself from United Nations is asking us to do it globally, all the same. They're asking us to standardize what is the SDG 5. The public policies are asking that most of the governments are taking this we could say ideologically socialist policies, where it's the government that subsidize for all the practice, the new practice to promote women, and then we get lost because we see that we are not thriving, or if we are moving, we are progressing, it's very slow. So what's really happening? Well, we need to be focused on who is the one in charge. This is the great debate. Is a global or a national gender equality? And maybe some skeptical would say, well, it's both. It's global, and then we apply it to national. But we see that we started with ambitious, and we started with power as the SDGs, especially this one, the number 5. Now it was like a balloon. Little by little, we are losing air. What is happening? Because we focus on citizens, the civil society as an activist, claiming to the government. But then we see the government had their own agenda on what had to be public policies, and start standardizing. What do we have here? One of the worst aspects that I identify personally, I'm not speaking as Shimon Global Networking, I'm speaking as myself, Marin Treini, as a political analyst. I think that the worst aspect on that is that we are creating a war of Christians against Muslims. Is we are going to say that gender equality is the same, so means that there is a standard, and if there is a standard, we erase certain religions. And this is what the local wanted, or they want it in a very specific way, adapted to their local needs. It's the same to be in Afghanistan that to be in Switzerland. Well, and the people, that's most important aspect, the citizens are demanding the same to the government. And we need to study that. For me, that's what will really prevent us to undermine what is individual freedom. And then finally, the role of the global institutions. We are creating a global government. This is the idea, because if it is, maybe we are found here the reason why we are not moving forward as faster as we need it. Each index is determined. Well, this is a rhetoric question that because I think this is quite inspiring if we ask ourselves these questions. You know, what is most important? Who go first? In the Global Gender Gap Index, we see that economic participation and opportunity. Here, this is the first one, and we see that the financial access is very important. However, the economic participation is not the same. There are traditions, especially in Asia, in Africa, in China, that tend to be more of the family. So the economic participation have to be balanced with their need to be in the family. So the balanced family and economic participation for a woman in a specific country could be different. And we are not addressing this way. In fact, when we see the global index, they measure exactly the same to all the countries at the same level. Educational attainment, that is something that is quite tricky. We need more women that enter in the educational system. At the same way, we realize that in many countries, to have more is a contradiction. You have, for example, in Brazil, I was talking with people that were chairing in Brazil, Liliana Schiavo, and she told me when the women enter and they have a high educational level, they are less focused on what is their families. So, and here in Europe, it's different. The more education attainment, not necessarily mean the more success, but this is what it means in other countries like Brazil. So, and then health and survival. Well, of course, we need a certain standard, and this could be a global standard. This is something that I take it as global, that is to have a standard of what is access to health. This is absolutely important. No, and a minimum standard of education to have access to health. If we don't have education, we can have access to health. And this is when we have that the global index could become very misbalanced because it's not the same in a conflict area. It's not the same whether they're living in the Middle East as what we are having here in Europe or USA. And finally, political empowerment. I always highlight the fact that we are in a political crisis, and now that is tend to be global, a global political leadership. And when we say that the women need to be empowered to be in politics, we have to be careful on that, because to be empowered, maybe there are leaders from the civil society, and the capacity is capacity to influence, not just to be part of. And I would like to focus on a very specific score that it highlight my attention. I don't know if you as well. That is what we consider a masculinity or feminine score in the country, in a specific country. Below 50, it considered a feminine country, and above there is a masculine trend in that area. Sometimes it's a geographical area as well. But you see, 36 in Russia. Russia is a feminist country. Could you think that? Do you think that the public policies are aligned with that idea, with feminists? If you have to think in a feminist country, maybe you think in Spain. Spain is always on the ranking of one of the top countries on gender equality. However, we are in the 42. So the perception is less that could be in Russia. In Russia, it's more. It's a feminist country. Why? Why it is? Because it's the feeling of the women, and the claim that they made is according to their own ambitions and goals that are different from us. So there are separated what is public policies. As you see, in UK is 62, and in US is 66. You know, for me, it's really something to reflect on when we talk about a feminist or not feminist country. And for that, for me, is always an example that made me feel proud and joyful and hopeful for the future. That is that we implement he for she, she for he. That with only this kind of feminist or masculine is only we will get if we have balance. And we apply this for voluntary, for goodwill, with solidarity, and with remarkable men as Erkam, as Chitendra's global advisor, Antonio Saraiva, that is my denim partner. Patient have Steve Costello as the denim partner. Lilian Esquiavo from Brazil have George Neymer, also a remarkable man in Brazil. So it's very important to have this partnership with men that empower us. And this is, for me, the only way. And this is go against all the trend that we are having. The trend that we're having is a reivindicated state. And for me, it's only about advocacy. So thank you so much. I hope I have been short enough. Patient, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. Yes, it was succinct enough. Yes, it was. And I think that, can you hear me? Oh, okay, we've lost me. Okay, that's fine. So I think we will move on to our next talk, our next guest speaker, and our next guest speaker is going to be Anita Shukla. Anita is going to talk to us about towards gender equality and equal pay, a spotlight on Germany with a focus on tech and AI. Thank you so much, Anita. Oh. Anita, you can start. Can you
yes,
hear
thank
me?
you very much, Patience. Yes. So that was great, dear Ma, and it was great also, dear Erkan, in line with this presentation also in particular. So I'm starting my presentation. Will it come automatically? I think it's uploaded already.
So you need to put present, and they should come with present.
Sorry, it's uploaded, so present.
You should click on it.
Yes, so
okay.
Should normally start.
Do you want to send it to me, and then I can I will be able to upload it. So maybe we should move to someone. Is there someone else on the panel that doesn't have a presentation? Where we could move to the next person.
Yes,
Susanna,
so,
do you have a presentation?
I don't have a presentation, so if you want, I can take the floor.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Anita. Thank you, Patience.
Yeah, because what is happening is I think I think we have a bit of technical difficulties because Ma is the host, so
Maybe,
Ah,
I will find a way. But Susanna, you go ahead, please.
Thank you, Patience. So my topic is about women networks. As we are here in a women network, which is the G100, I will introduce the topic of the relevance of women network in advancing topics which are not just women's topics, as it has been very clearly explained right now by the previous speakers, but are in the best interest of everybody, of humanity, mankind, womankind. And so I think that whatever is about women empowerment is really in the interest of society at large. But still, women networks can play a significant role, not only because it's easier for many women to be active and empowered inside a women network, but also because it's easier for a women network to raise awareness on some specifically women-related needs and necessities. So I will make plenty of examples because I think it's a very easy way to explain things. I live in a middle-sized town in southern Italy, where there are a number of women's associations. There are different kinds of women's associations. There are, of course, the club services, Soroptimist, Innerwheel. I think most of towns and cities around the world have this kind of clubs who are intended to advance projects, local projects or networks of bigger projects. So this is, of course, a very relevant locally source of initiatives. Then we have professional women's associations. And these are more often found at national or regional level than at local level, yet that they can have an impact on any level. And I think they are very relevant when it comes to job-related, work-related problems such as the gender, the work time balance, or the gender pay gap. Then there are specific needs, such as the needs of support, the needs of counter harassment or supporting women who are victims of several kinds of gender-related violences, or even specific healthcare needs. So why I mention all these associations? Because I think that in many cases we need an integrated approach. We need to involve different kind of networks, different associations, different environments, work environments, and social and economic environments in order to attain big goals. There are, of course, many small and big goals which are relevant in Italy at this moment, as there are some relevant at European level. There are different ones maybe relevant in Africa, in India, in other areas of the world. So I think it's very important to be conscious of the different declination of the problems in different social and economic contexts in order to better help each other and provide maybe best practices or examples of what can be done. For instance, in my little town, there are at the moment two projects, two different, completely different projects related to high school teenagers, girls specifically. One, to encourage them for political empowerment, because there is a lack of interest of women in politics, which is a part of a bigger problem, which is a lack of interest of people in politics and of young people in politics, but still addressing with a gender-related approach may be helpful in order to provide girls with role models, with examples, and with sort of, open ways to show that they are not trapped in some cultural or traditional way of thinking. Another different project, which is at the moment ongoing in the high schools, is to encourage girls to work in STEM disciplines, because we have a gap. We have more women in the jobs related to care of people or education, or nowadays even legal, but much less in whatever is related to maths, engineering, and physics, and scientific in general professions. So you see, different needs can be taken care by different groups and different associations, according also to backgrounds of the people involved, of the women involved. So I will provide a couple of examples of big problems which need a different kind of lobbying or of networking. And as we are in the G100 networking wing, I think our role in networking is essential. We have the big emergency in Italy, and I have to say in many countries, this is something that just surfaced in the last 3, 4, 5 years, the consciousness about how many killings of women are gender related. So we have an horrible word in Italy, which is femminicidio. This is the killing of women, specifically gender related, which means women killed by partners, former partners, or relatives. And I think this consciousness is rising because we are in the transition between a generation of women who don't want to be any more controlled by partners or parents in any way, and men still holding the old conception of being controlling, and so not really educated to accept or address rejection emotionally. So we have this violence, which is significant. We have quite significant numbers. And of course, we need very different actions at different levels. We need rules. We need specific rules to address this problem. So we need advocacy and political leadership. We need as well support to prevent this kind of killings. So we need safety, and we need legal support and safety support, which means other kind of structures. And then we need welfare specific and support specific networks related to the victims or related to people who need to escape and to find a safe haven from this kind of threats. So you see different kind of women's association and women related structures. Actually, in Italy, we have all these kind of
different structures, but often they are not linked one with the other. So we need to put all this in a system. And yet we need also to address the problem at the roots. And so we need also cultural education. So we need work on the school, on the very young children in order to overcome this mentality of controlling or not managing properly emotions. So this is an example. But if we move to what we are talking about, the gender pay gap, I can say the same dynamic there, because I think we need political leadership and rules. And for instance, in Europe, we have lots of guarantees about the non-discrimination formally. So in theory, there is no discrimination according to pay. Even the treaty established in the European Union forbids different pays between men and women for the same job since the 50s. But yet there is a gender pay gap. How is that possible? Because we need positive measures. Positive measures means structures to support maternity, it needs childcare, means avoiding or protecting women who risk their job because they are expecting. And we need also support for working women in different ways. So contracts, flexible contracts, for instance, when the kids are younger, we need paid leave for fathers. So there are many different things we need. And also we need to involve not only women's association when it comes to advocacy, we need to involve also women's association when it comes to trade unions, employees, employers, and contracts which are imagined to guarantee these gender-related problems. And we need also positive measures to have more women in the boards. And in this sense, it's very interesting that there is a European directive which will force all the companies who are in stock exchange to have at least 40% of women, or at least of the less represented gender, let's say, by 2026. So rules are important, but we need to address as well the cultural roots. We need to address the emergency. We need to address the consequences. And in this sense, I think all these different associations can work together. Now, G200, I think, is very well positioned to be a trade union among all different worlds, because it is structured to have at least one person in charge in every area of activity in every country. So this is very useful in order to bring together women who come from different experiences, who join different networks, and who can help each other. So I think this is a key in order to move forward. Of course, it's not just, we are not in a just women world, but we are in a world where we have to live together, not to compete, as it has been very well said before, but we have to collaborate, and so we need also to bring these needs in all the civil societies, in all kind of associations and networks and unions where women are together with men. But I think that the voice of all women together in dedicated groups can be stronger when then it's put forward in a mixed association, in a mixed system, structured institution, and so on. So that's it. Hope to be helpful.
Thank you so much, Susanna. I want to say you stole my speech. No, I'm joking. Well done, well done. It was really good, and I really appreciate the way you talked about what is happening, in the real world, in the actual world, in communities, what's happening in families. So thank you so much for sharing that. And now we're gonna move to. I'm so sorry because we are short of time, so we're now moving really quickly. We're going to move to Anita. Anita.
Please, before Anita, if you don't mind,
so I'm going to share.
By patient, if you don't mind, just a minute, 1 minute. I would love to welcome Reina Joe with her message. She's our dear teacher for Curaçao. She had problems to connect. Just 1 minute of message. She's in a rush. But thank you for being here, Reina. You know that how important are you, and how relevant and how senses of collaboration and solidarity you have, and you help us to grow. We say thank you so much, Reina.
Thank you all. Good day and good of the rest of the day for all of you. And I was following the whole all the presentations, and it keeps coming back that we have so much work to do, man. We have so much to keep doing, because at a certain moment we are all role models, and the younger people are looking at us. And if we are not aware of that, if we don't use this opportunity that we have, we will fail in all the good things that we are doing. So my wish and my desire is for us to keep growing. Thank you so much for the work you're doing. Patience, you too. And that we at a certain moment can say, okay, let's continue, not let's start all over again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Reina. Bye. Thank you. So now Anita Shukla, are you ready? Anita? Yes? We cannot hear you. If you unmute, please.
Thank you, dear Ma. Yes, of course, ready. Yeah, so wonderful presentation is there. So we continue. Okay, very good afternoon from Germany. And yeah, so amazing presentations. And I think I can continue with these things on, yeah, payment, networks, yeah, individuals and companies and the government all should take action on that. So my talk will be towards gender equality and equal pay. Spotlight on Germany, also tech and artificial intelligence. So Anita Shukla, G100 Global Networking Country Chair Germany, and I'm also owner of India EU Training and Consulting Company in Germany. So the status quo, currently the Gender Equality Index in Germany from last year, 2023, some data, which is mostly from 2021 and 22. The Gender Equality Index gives like EU and member states like score from 1 to 100. So meaning 100 would mean full equality of women and men in a country. So the index currently is around 70%, 70.8%, a plus from 2.1. And like focusing on different fields like work, 76.8, little bit of plus, money, 87.1, little bit plus, knowledge, 56.1, 1.5 plus, time 65.0, not much of a change, and power 67.6, health 89.8. These some figures on that. What does it mean? So best performance, Germany ranks number 8 among all the states in the domain of health. So nearly 90 points. And since 2020, the progress in the domain has stalled. It's like first rank in subdomain of health access. The biggest improvement is in the domain of work. So 0.8 since 2022, and the country's largest improvement in ranking in any domain. It's the second biggest in the EU in the domain of work. Most room for improvement is in the domain of knowledge. And a step backwards, actually, since 2022, Germany has dropped from 12th to 14th in the domain of time, and due to a drop in Germany's ranking in subdomain of care activities. And I'm coming to that later also. So this is the Gender Equality Index for Germany from last year. So some facts on gender equality in Germany. The gender equality strategy you can find from the government 2022. There's a gender pay gap in Germany from 18% currently. That was in 2022. There's a gender pay gap and gender care gap article by the Deutsches Institut für Wirtschaftsforschung, the German Institute for Economic Research from last year, if you want to read more on it, and the study on gender equality by the Wirtschafts- und Sozialwissenschaftliche Institut in certain industries, with a lot of research and data portal also to check for this. And so there's one important publication by the Federal Ministry for Family Affairs, Senior Citizens, Women and Youth, called The Road to Equal Pay for Women and Men from 2022. It also mentions the gender pension gap, which is general 53% in the whole of Germany. In the West, it's much higher, 58%, and east of Germany, so eastern federal states, 28%, roughly. Gross salaries in Germany. So for females, workers would be around 17.72 euros, and male, in comparison, more than 22 euros per hour, namely 22.16. So women earn less even in the same jobs. And the greater, interesting fact, the greater the proportion of women in one occupational group, the less that group earns on average. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting findings in that study. I'm just highlighting the important things. So main targets: overcoming horizontal and vertical gender segregation in the labor market, distribute paid work and uncare work, not paid care work fairly between men and women and in partnership, meaning caring for relatives, yeah? Children, etc. Enforce and promote pay structures and regulations free of gender-based discrimination. So companies, organizations, and foundations can apply to the award for like companies for equal payment, and that will be early summer. It cannot be seen properly. It's an award that will be early summer 2024, and companies, organizations, and also foundations can apply for that till the end of March. Last year's winners were like companies like Alpha Quest, Goldeimer, and Vodafone. More information can be found on the ministry's website. So, what would be benefits for companies who are promoting gender equality and equal pay? That would be more profitability, enhanced productivity and work ethic. Also, innovation is promoted, and it contributes to a better image and a better brand. So much by like Forbes articles and so on. Yeah. Maybe also interesting to be aware of, there's a certification for fair pay, and even a German startup called FPI, and the founder is Henrike von Platen. Yeah, so companies can be certified, and they can also do like good work on that. So what the government is doing, what companies can do, yeah. Also, like what will be benefits for companies, yeah. Their motivation is enhanced. So, talking about Equal Pay Day on the 6th of March in 2024 this year in Germany. And the motto is High Time for Equal Pay. In German, Höchste Zeit für Equal Pay. There's a number of publications on this and a list of initiatives all over the country, all over the place in Germany. So individuals, women, men can also support this. Yeah. Sorry about the display of this. Normally, it should be in the same size. Yeah, I don't know what's with the design so far, but so this is about Equal Pay Day this year in March in Germany. Now, taking action for companies, for individuals, for women involved. Job and career market. Artificial intelligence will impact around 60% of the jobs by publication of International Monetary Fund from this year. What I found out, AI, artificial intelligence and the future of work, and especially women, older workers, and those without higher education are the most affected. Yeah, AI of course gives many chances, but a constant upskilling, reskilling is needed for everyone, and for women, not the least, even more. Yeah. What I wanted to highlight here, because of automation, many jobs involving repetitive tasks and so on, commercial level and so on, yeah, will be automated. So we all have to think about upskilling and developing new task skills and competences, and also expanding our networks for that. Yeah. So women need to be mobile and tech savvy. Yeah? And this is in research for many years, and I'm just highlighting McKinsey research from 2019 on this. Yeah. So taking action as individuals, because future of work will be different from what it is now.
For sure.
I'm giving some examples of high-paying salaries, high-paid jobs in tech and AI in Germany currently from end of last year. So, for example, computer systems analysts with a pay from 51,500 euros. And other examples, even higher in numbers, would be data specialists, hardware developers, database developers, data engineers, DevOps engineers, IT project directors, of course, site reliability engineers, user interface, so UX designers and IT security specialists. Yeah, with you can say quite high salaries. So it's definitely important to think about possible, career changes and moves, and what new industries maybe also can offer. So regarding job and career, I just want to give an appeal that women as female entrepreneurs, as interim specialists, maybe as freelancers, we have many entrepreneurs, women leaders in the networks of G100 already, also as female employees. Yeah, do think about like your special skills, your work experience you already have, in a combination with even more maybe digital or even AI skills, like a combination of tech and special skills. You can also think of like the very important topics of today, like security, even cybersecurity. Not the least, I mean, also for women, yeah, this is a big topic, and ethics, sustainability, health, care, etc. And a knowledge on technology, on like digital knowledge, digital skills and AI skills, yeah, and find your niche. Developing new products, being part of like new projects and innovation in companies. Yeah, so that open your mind and think about like perspectives. Yeah? This is what I want to say. So some examples of networks would be in Germany, Women in Tech. You also on Women in Tech website, you have a main list of like many other initiatives and networks and study possibilities and so on. Then Women in AI and Robotics, very strong in Germany, with many important partners, also research institutes in Germany. Then Women in AI, which is a global organization, Digital Media Women in Germany, more involved, programming classes, for example, and even Google has the initiative called Women Tech Makers, and many more, of course. Yeah. I'm coming back to that. Studies and training and tech and AI would be, for example, Plattform Lernensysteme with a list of universities, the AI campus called KI Campus in Germany, Women AI Academy, OpenHPI, OpenSAP, Google Zukunftswerkstatt, the Digital Garage, etc. And yes, studies and training. Yeah. So it's networks, it's training, and it's also a shift of the mindset. Yeah. One has to be aware of. So more events to come in this year. Yeah. So thank you for your attention, and to be continued with that. Yeah. Hope you were able to read this, and the acoustics was good. And yeah, so thank you very much. My contact details, I think we're connected, and happy to answer all questions and to connect with all of you more. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Anita. All your contributions are always so valuable and so important. You are from Germany. You really make it very well. So thank you so much. I think we are at Global Networking, so we are going to do networking among us. So it's time for you also to connect with Turkey, because it's also important that with ERCAM you find this link on what is tech. I think that there are many parts that we could be together, and we could upscaling our skills on what is networking, no? As well. Think of patient. I think you agree with me, isn't it? Yes.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay. Amazing. Yes, I do agree with you. I do agree with you, and I found that what's going to happen in this talk is that a lot of our talk are going to interlink, because we're talking about the same thing, and we are here to really create this global exchange. Oh, yeah, I'm still there. So therefore, we're going to move to our next guest speaker. So our next guest speaker could not be here in presence. So they sent the video is Lilian Schiavo. And Lilian Schiavo is our Brazil Global country chair. So I'm going to put the video now, I guess. Yeah. Ma,
Yeah.
I am Lilian Schiavo, Country Chair of Brazil of Global Network G100. And I would like to thank our dear Inspiring Global Chair, Marin Troini, for inviting me to take part in this debate on gender equality. For me, it's an honor to be with extraordinary people who, without a doubt, will teach me a lot. Each one from a country, each one with different points of view, with unique cultures and experience. And this diversity is precisely what makes Global Network G100 our house of innovations and ideas. Stayed for the necessary and important discussions like we are having today. I'm a Brazilian, and every time I'm asked from where I come, people start smiling and associate Brazil as a country with samba, coffee, carnival, happiness, beautiful beaches, feijoada e caipirinha, a welcome place with the lush nature. So, one of my features is my smile. But when talking to Mara about the topic of this webinar, I could not keep a happy face. She asked me if I know the figures of violence against women and femicide in Brazil. I replied that I know, and I was ashamed. Unfortunately, the figures from the Brazilian Public Security Annual pointed out that in 2022, one woman was killed every 6 hours in my country. In total, 1,437 were victims of femicide, an increase of 6.5% in relation to the 1,347 reported in 2021. In the first half of 2023, we had the highest number recorded in the history, according to figures from the Brazilian Public Security Forum, pointing to an upward trend. A frightening fact is that Brazil ranks 5th in the world for femicide. According to the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, the country is second only to El Salvador, Colombia, Guatemala, and Russia. Compared to developed countries, Brazil kills 48 times more women than the UK, 24 times more than Denmark, and 16 times more than Japan and Scotland. In 2015, law number 13104 was passed in Brazil, making femicide a qualified homicide and placing it on the list of heinous crimes, with more severe penalties of 12 to 30 years. Sad reality. Most of these crimes are committed by the victims' husbands or boyfriends. And according to the UN, the reason for the crime is the feeling of possession over the woman, control over her body, disgust at the professional, economic, social, or intellectual emancipation of the woman, contempt and hatred for their gender status. On 7 August 2006, the Maria da Penha law was passed, making femicide a heinous crime. In honor of a woman, a pharmacist, whose husband tried to kill her twice, she survived, but became a paraplegic, and has since become a symbol in the fight in violence against the woman. The law has brought hope. It has created mechanisms that allow the application of emergency protective measures. It makes it compulsory to report when a woman is the victim of domestic aggression. In 2021, it typifies crime of stalking, mapping the status of a woman in situations of violence by abusers. On 6 August 1920, in 1985, a decree created the first women's police station in the state of São Paulo. Today, there are 140 women's police stations, 11 of which are open 24 hours a day. Femicide in Brazil is a complex and multifaceted issue, which is why raising awareness, educating, and strengthening laws are essential steps towards a fairer and safer society for humans. The country has the potential to serve as an example to the world in the fight against gender-based violence. The time to act is now, in favor of a world where only human can live free from fear. Thank you very much.
Well, you see, we raise with
Wow,
this.
what a contribution from Liliane in Brazil. Oh.
It was amazing as usual, because it's always amazing to learn from her, and this is what we do in Global Networking. You know, 10 countries on a stage today, all members of Global Networking, connecting freely, inspiring each other, a true powerhouse, and we address a new topic for today, that it was violence. And I would like to advance that we have a plan to continue having this kind of inspired think tank event, where we concentrate the very essence of what is gender equality, that is security as well. And but I think that they deserve to have a very special event on that topic. So okay, so now we move forward. Our dearest next shiny Cobra from Belgium, but she's in Canary Island. You know, we envy you. We envy you. You're in summer.
I love Spain. What can I say? Thank you, Mar. Thank you, Patience. And I would like to thank everyone who shared their opinions and researches, and it was quite inspiring. So, well, I choose a special topic, witch hunts, because we always think that it's in the history. I hear some noises. How can we stop it? Okay, thank you. That's perfect. All right. We always talk about witch hunts and Middle Age and how it affected on women. Yet today, I would like to emphasize two different points of this subject. First of all, the witch hunts didn't happen only on women. There were also men who were not able to protect their sisters, mothers, or wives, or siblings. Like, as I say, the witch hunts didn't affect only women, but of course mostly affected on women. So on our subject, with our subject today, I want to honor the men and women who was affected on these hunts in the past. And I want to start with a question. I'm curious, how many of you feel like your light is diminished, or choose to stay low, or you feel like you cannot show up as your authentic self, or you have fear when you come on a stage or talk in front of public, even though you speak about a subject that you well deeply, and still feel that stress? It can be about business, it can be in social relationships, or anything. How many of you feel like you are not becoming visible as the way you deserve? Well, I'm one of them. I don't know about you, but I'm sure many of us carry that part, that side of the history in ourselves. And when we want to do something new, when we want to step into a new reality, we simply feel stuck, or we feel alone, we feel stressed, we feel like, oh, I need to do more, I need to learn more, I need more to get whatever I want. And at that part, we come across to the global networking groups, which is a great opportunity for women and men to support each other and create an equality. Because, oh, thank you for the slides as well. I think I can move them. So before go forward, I want to ask you, do you still believe these witch hunts exist? You can type in the comments, or you can just answer to yourself. But what I would like to share with you is, yes, we still face with the witch hunting in a way that we carry with our genes, because as you know, genetically we carry not just the physical, the genes that gives us the physical appearance, but many other things as well. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's good to see. And gender equality persists in both business and personal lives. So with witch hunting in the past, what happened was women had to stay low and shouldn't show up as their authentic self, and they need to hide their gifts from others. So it kind of gave us a sense of, if I step onto this stage and share my gifts with others, I would get killed, I would get punished, or somehow jailed. I would have that fearful life. And from that times to today, what happens is basically we still carry those beliefs, we still carry those emotions, and the only thing we now have are placebo hunters. So these placebo hunters create an inequality in our lives, not just as women or men who weren't able to help us in these times. But there are two main objectives here that I would like to emphasize. First, as women, we also have the tendency to hide ourselves, to not to contribute to create an equality. We do that intuitively because we still carry that fear and pain within us. So especially if you're an entrepreneur, it's becoming quite visible in time. And also the other objection is there are other women and men who are not aware of this situation and trying to maintain with the old traditions. So women can stay low and don't change a lot in these days. So to recall what middle-aged hunting did, so they basically underestimate and suppressed women, punishing them if they become visible and share their gifts. And we all have these codings. If I aim for success or visibility, if we show up authentically, we fear losing our freedom, facing punishment for our gifts, and experiencing betrayal. So I want you to check out how many of these situations or feelings are you feeling in your daily life or your business life. Here, I believe we need to understand what is a witch first, because normally in the movies and everywhere it was thought witch is something scary, but in contemporary culture, some individuals embrace the identify of a witch as a symbol of empowerment, independence, and a connection to nature. So if you want to become an empowered individual, an empowered woman, or an independent woman, or if you want to create stronger connections with nature, this makes you a witch, basically. And I'm sure we all are fighting for the same thing. This is unrelated to any specific religious or magical practice. Because even in the Middle Age, witches used to be midwives, nurses, herbalists, and leaders. In the previous presentations, my friends expressed very well that women are great leaders, great decision makers, because they are multifunctional. And also, embracing these qualities of ourselves will help us, because the only thing I can tell from my personal experience, since the Middle Age, we forgot how to trust each other as women, not just the men. We really need to relearn to trust each other with these kind of events by welcoming each other in a compassionate area.
Can I just react on that? Hello?
Hello?
Can I react on that?
What do you mean?
Interesting point of view when you say that we need to trust each other, but this is, I do believe in what you're saying. The witch hunt still exists. That's a fascinating subject. And
thank you.
And I agree with you when you say we need to trust each other. The issue is, again, a consequences of the patriarchy society that put us into competition, and women do actually play that to be validated by men, and a lot of women are still doing that, and they get into competition instead of collaboration. So you've got a very good point there.
Thank you. Thank you. I was about to come there. Thank you for clarifying. Because as you mentioned, thank you for the confirmation. I love this interactive way. Just surprised a little in the beginning. But as you said, we have a cyclical nature. We are chaotic beings, but men and the patriarchal ages are linear, and they seek for order. So if we refuse our own nature, like this chaotic and growing, expansive nature, and if we focus on this patriarchal teachings, we start competing with each other. We try to do things in the physical way. But as women, we need to know that we have to come together. We have to grow together and rise together, because at the end of the day, what I can feel in my heart, for years I had this belief women would harm me, and they did harm, to be honest. But until I noticed that it is not the women who is harming, it is the chaos trying to go up and find its nature. Because in this witch hunt in the Middle Age, they came to us, and to be able to survive, we needed to give names. So we betrayed each other as well. But it is time to forgive and forget and move on. So whatever happened in the past happened. We cannot change this, but we can change today. And what I can tell is, yes, the modern day witch hunting still works, and it works in different and various ways, like jealousy. If you are becoming jealous on another woman or man, then if you use this jealousy in a way to compete with that person, then you are again losing the point and breaking the sisterhood bond. But if you use this jealousy to understand there's a different perception about that. Jealousy represents a reality that you can experience, so you can use it as a motivation as well. So if you use jealousy as a feminine way, as a feminine tool, you can create a different reality for yourself. But if you use it in a masculine way, you can start competing with others. And in business life, I think there is a mic open. If no one is speaking, yeah, great, thank you. So, okay. Modern day witch hunting works in a way that, as I say, jealousy, not having equal opportunities, as my friends expressed quite impressively in the beginning, since the beginning, and like not being able to create sincere bonds with others is also a way that witch hunting works. So we need to learn how to trust each other. We need to learn how to connect in a deeper level with each other. We don't have to be successful. We don't have to do the right things all the time. But if we can do the empathy, and if we can be open to each other, then we see that instead of competing, instead of like trying to do everything by ourselves, we can actually come together and build something better, like we do with these events.
Oh, can I?
Yeah, please. I think someone was saying something but left anyways. So what can we do to stop the hunting and shine and rise together? Basically, we always have the emotions, and those emotions are gonna show up every day, plenty of times. Sometimes they will be good emotions, sometimes they will be bad emotions, if we call them good and bad. But whatever those emotions are, if we know where our boundaries are starting and where the other person's boundaries are starting, and if we embody that, we all have our own journey. We can only make this journey better if we connect with another in a deeper level. Then this journey will turn into something magical. So femininity requires heartfelt gatherings instead of competition, rising together, supporting each other, and like even just complimenting another woman or another person just for something they do in a very good way, or the appearance. I love doing that. For example, when I'm walking on the street, if I see a very beautiful cloth on a person, I say, oh, that looks fabulous. It looks great on you, or something like that. You can see the smile. Now you know every technical tools, as previous presenters shared with you. That's amazing. You should follow all of them. And also, this is going to be a very good ingredient to make a little bit add a little bit taste for your food, to your soup, let's say. So just complimenting and opening yourself and learning how to trust others. But mostly opening space to let go of fear, because what we learned in the Middle Age and still carry is basically fear. So we don't have a real witch hunting maybe, but our brain doesn't understand if something is real or not. So if I tell you, if like there is a half lemon in my hands, and just squeeze it and smell it, it's juicy, and you will see your mouth is getting juicier, right? Just like that. When we think about, or we don't even have to think about that because we have it within us. We just need to unlearn it first, unlearn the things that feels, oh, I can't trust people, I can't trust men or women, or if you carry the fear without any reason or experience, you can just learn your ways of letting go of fear. For me, I do that with spiritual practices, but for someone it can be like sports, it's for other it can be art, for other it can be something else. So it's your journey to find out which way is great for you. And in G100, I know that we have several groups for art, for like cinema or things like that. So there are opportunities for each of us to explore what is best for ourselves, to open up our hearts wider and let go of the fear. And I think I'm already finished with the time-wise and also presentation-wise. Sorry, I had some disruptions, but I know that I'm in a very compassionate and welcoming environment, and I feel safe here. And I really want to thank to all of you for this opportunity, for creating this beautiful, safe environment. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, Kubra. First of all, thank you so much for bringing this kind of fresh take, I would say, into this, can we say, mini conference, this mini conference on gender pay. I really love that. And also the fact that, you know, so many ways that people have attracted so far in their lives comes from, you know, a long time ago. And I think it was a fresh turn to come from the past and to bring it into the present and give, you know, an idea of how we can change and we can move and we can also flourish and elevate each other. Thank you so much, Kubra. Thank you. So without further ado, I would like to come into representation of the UK Global Networking G100 team. And today on the team, we have a few of us who are going to take, who are going to speak. We have Maggie, who is here. We've got Mia as well, who is here. And we also have Steve. Unfortunately, Steve could not be with us today. He is our denim partner, and he couldn't be here today, but he sent a video, which I will share. And then I will be giving my thought as well at the end. But thank you so very much, Kubra. I love that. Okay, I'm going to present video.
Hello?
Sorry, who is it? Oh, screen.
Maybe we could continue. Suggest kindly suggestion to start with Maggie, if you think it's okay. While we fix the video, yeah.
It's fine with me. I can start.
Because I have the video. Oh, sorry.
Yes. Maggie, yes, you're ready?
Yeah, okay, great. So thank you very much for this opportunity of joining everyone. Is everything okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So once again, thank you very much for this opportunity of joining everyone at this much needed event. Let's bring our minds together to brainstorm the effective ways of creating strong, happy, healthy, and united communities as we do, in which everyone matters, everyone counts, everyone has a space to shine and thrive, everyone is equal. Doesn't matter how old we are, doesn't matter our expertise, doesn't matter how we even look like and where we live. We are in it together. Regardless the position I'm holding, whether it's he, she champion, regional England chair for our global networking wing, or a global wellness ambassador, or even a health strategist and neuroprogramming master therapeutic coach, or even mom of two, or perhaps a housing manager for one of the leading Jewish housing associations here in the UK. My personal mission has been always very clear: to impact everyone to know, see, feel the greatness in each of us, and to empower you to make our world a beautiful, equal place for all. I truly believe that it can be done so easily by uniting our strengths, natural abilities, wisdom, and hearts. The magic lies in learning from the past, recognizing our mental strengths, understanding who we are, and as an equal member of our society, contribute towards togetherness and growth, whilst having a great vision for what next, for our joint compelling future. It doesn't matter whether you are young or old, what ethnicity, gender, nationality, race you have. We are in it together. And together we strive. Together we are stronger and we thrive. So on that note, why don't we talk about addressing one of the biggest problems of the modern world, mental health. Mental illness, like physical illness, as we know, can affect anyone, regardless of intelligence, social class, or income level. Many factors, including poverty, unemployment, and exposure to violence, migration, and other adverse circumstances and events, may influence the well-being and mental health of everyone. The stats are shocking. Did you know that over 600 million people are affected by mental health issues worldwide? Mental and physical ill conditions are on a rise. Just depression is the #1 leading cause of disability worldwide. Anxiety disorders are the most common of all mental disorders. And about 1 million people die by suicide each year. Pandemic of stress is everywhere. Tension, comparison, on and off media, pressures are enormous to us. Our bodies and minds feel as if they were constantly on a highway. No wonder exhaustion and burnout is so familiar to us. Consequently, we are too tired to even look after ourselves properly, as it's not the case that when anxiety takes over, we are too tired to do anything physically. We are lacking energy. We can't sleep. We sit most of the time and consequently putting weight. Our movements become slower. Our cognitive abilities aren't that sharp anymore. We are not as productive as we wish we were. We are finding ourselves irritable for no reason. And what before was a norm to us becomes a challenge. But as we believe we are strong and can handle anything, we push through, we go on. And as we believe that we invested too much in our successes, to let it go. Consequently, we develop addictions to coffee and other substances to stay alert. So many of us start smoking, drinking heavily, or gambling. Emotional distress we suppress or just ignore, as we believe that there's no time or need for a therapy or a mindset training. We start developing insomnia, and we even can't remember when we slept throughout the whole night without waking up several times. We start putting on weight, and in no time, our BMI goes up together with unhealthy fat all around us. On top of it, the stories we tell ourselves daily directly influence our bodies too. I am too tired to exercise. We're already making a statement that is giving us a permission not to do it. I'm too busy. Well, if we believe it, then this is exactly what's happening. I'm not patient enough to cook from scratch. Well, if we say so, why would we prove to ourselves otherwise? I don't have time to sleep for longer than 4 hours a night. May sound familiar to you too. But to many of us, these empowering statements and even permissions weaken us even more. Consequently, all the stress we live in gets hardwired in each cell of our bodies. Our bodies hold on to emotional, mental, and physical stress we live in and responding back by manifesting the unhappiness by giving us our first cardiovascular medical conditions. But what do we do next? We start taking medication to suppress illness rather than cure us. So often, we develop mental dependency. We start suffering from the side effects that often bring a new medical condition, increased waste, and feeling of being defeated. And feeling potential complications after coming off them, we stay on them for ages, sponsoring pharmacological industries. Did you know over 80% of global population above the age of 60 takes medication daily, whereas about 50% of those between the age of 18 and 59? Well, medical pharmacological industries love it. In just 2022, almost 5 billion prescriptions were handed to patients worldwide. Even sadder, the facts are that approximately 95% of worldwide illnesses are based on unhealthy lifestyle we choose for ourselves. It affects us all. But does it need to be the case? Does it need to be that grim? No. Healthy citizens are the greatest asset any country can have, British ex-Prime Minister Churchill Winston used to be saying. And this is one of the reasons why we are here today, together, thinking about making equal world for all. By identifying a problem, understanding it, communicating with one another, and finding the best resources for us and for the others, seeing everyone thrive and be happy, healthy, and united. These are our aims. Recognizing gaps in the system, being proactive to challenge them, and to bring new insights. That's the way to go. So let me ask you a question. Are we the main drivers or passive passengers of our lives? As for me, I'm definitely a driver. Whilst I was coordinating work of health professionals across psychiatric hospitals and mental health-based communities, I was feeding into the overall change of the health sector here in the UK. As a health consultant for a local government, I was organizing a variety of health campaigns, educating others in prevention of illnesses and ways of undertaking medical treatments and aftercare when required. And finally, as a health broker, I established the Mental Health Contact Point service for a prominent mental health charity here in the UK. So let me remind you, each of us has the powers. Each of us makes a huge difference in our communities. And each of us is he, she champion. And we can learn from each other here and now and forever after. Let's grow in empowering ourselves to continue creating equal world for all. And summarizing my speech today, let me say, a journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. Starting now, we will be much ahead of those who haven't started yet. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maggie. Wow, amazing. That was a brilliant talk. Oh, can you hear me? Yeah, okay, that was a brilliant talk. Brilliant talk. Not only on the he for she, but also I love the fact that you put the accent on mental health. And I think this is really important, and this is something that we can't, especially in nowadays, we can't do without taking a knowledge of that. So thank you so much, Maggie, for your contribution to the UK team and for your contribution to G100 Global Networking. Thank you. So next we are going to go with Steve presentation. So Steve has done a presentation because unfortunately he couldn't be here, but we're going to put the presentation now for you. Thank you.
Hey there, it's the recorded version, unfortunately. Such is life, eh? Now, it's not only the recorded version, this is the short version of the original recording I made for this event. What I would suggest is this. Listen to the theories that I'm going to mention, and they're only going to be really mentioned in this version. When you've heard kind of got a grip on the general picture, then watch the longer video. If after watching the longer video you think, hey, this could be useful, how about a workshop? Then how about a workshop? Let's think about it. If it's useful, let's do it. Anything to support this incredibly important, I was going to call it a course, it's more than a course, but anything to support this, to promote gender equality is a very, very important thing for all of us. And it's important for the whole world as well. So let's think about a couple of psychological perspectives that might help us promote gender equality. So diving into this topic, as I said, I've made a longer version of this, and there could be a workshop even. There's a lot involved. So we're going to look at gender equality through this psychological lens. Let's begin by acknowledging the findings from the Pew Research Center back in 2020, still very relevant today. And it revealed really concerning views on gender roles. And these views on gender roles were coming from men and women from many, many countries around the world. So there's a lot of concerning views out there. So let's think about one of the psychological perspectives, cognitive dissonance. I'm not going to define it fully here, but our journey starts with understanding cognitive dissonance as a term that was first coined by a guy called Leon Festinger in the 1950s, the late 1950s. So imagine a scenario where someone, let's call him Steve, okay, this isn't really me, but just using my name. Steve holds traditional views on gender roles. Despite these beliefs, Steve finds himself working on a project where his female colleagues contribute significantly. And this conflicting situation causes cognitive dissonance. And that leads Steve to reevaluate his beliefs and behaviors. If only it was so quick, right? So let's go to look at some more psychological concepts, because all of them can be used to promote gender equality. Social cognitive theory, this suggests that exposure to diverse role models influences perceptions. And then move on to implicit bias. Implicit bias and stereotypes shape unconscious biases, which can be addressed by making them explicit. Many of our biases are actually unconscious. And then we move on to the contact hypothesis, which emphasizes positive interactions to reduce prejudices. And fear appeals and normative social influence appeal to our emotions to motivate change. Don't miss these coming thick and fast. And we have narrative persuasion. Through personal stories, we can foster a deeper connection and understanding. And then overcoming in-group bias. That involves highlighting the collective benefits of gender equality. I remember back in the late 1980s where there was a female group in one of the universities I was studying at the time. And this particular female group, I believed, were pushing all the right issues, but they would absolutely not let me get involved as somebody who was interested and wanted to push with them. So that's called a gender bias. So we need to focus on highlighting the collective benefits of gender equality, and let's overcome this in-group bias. Motivational interviewing, another one, guides individuals to recognize discrepancies in their views. It's not done by attack, it's a guiding process. So to conclude, promoting gender equality requires a holistic approach that integrates various psychological perspectives. So by understanding cognitive dissonance, and utilizing psychological concepts like social cognitive theory, narrative persuasion, we can effectively change existing beliefs and behaviors. But let's remember that promoting gender equality is not just about changing laws or policies. It's about changing hearts and minds. So let's reflect on how we can incorporate these psychological insights into our daily lives to contribute to a more inclusive and equitable society. Look for the links, they will be shared. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate. Get in touch, ask questions, and I will be very, very happy to help out.
Well, so Steve did a longer recording of 20 minutes, which is as a workshop, which I will share the link to in the comment so that everybody's got the link to it and can access it. So this was like a shorter version that he sent for this panel, this conference today. Unfortunately, we've lost Maya in the reminder of everything, and Maya is part of G100 Global Networking UK wing, UK chapter, and she is the Kensington and Chelsea city chair, and I'm sure we will have the time to see her in another time. Okay. So we've almost come to the end, have we? Isn't it, Ma? So I'm gonna share my piece and on what I know. What I realize is that there is at the same time so much to say about gender equality, and at the same time, especially on this panel, there's little you can bring in difference, but everybody's brought their own difference. So what I wanted to talk about is to talk about on an individual level and also on different other level, how can we break the ceiling of this gender pay gap? Because whether we want it or not, financial power, equal economic powers, and we are able to change a lot when we are able to have financial power. So the gender pay gap is being looked in different ways and different point of view today, and we can't really say so much more, but we can't also forget that the subject is much more complex than just having this conference. And this is why there's going to be more and more events around this within our community. But it's more than just being like a man versus a woman subject. We mustn't forget all these its intersectionalities, such as like race and ethnicity pay gap, disability pay gap, whether where you live as well affects the pay gap, whether you can access full-time or part-time work, and so on, as well as being a carer, for example. And being a carer or having a disability, even being a woman, all of these aspects comes into a tax, a personal tax. And unfortunately, this is not often looked upon. If you look at the House of Commons and how it relates to gender pay gap, it relates at it as being like the difference between the median of hourly earning of men and of women as a percentage of men's earning. And this is like the kind of definition that you will see on their website. But for me, it's so much more than that, so much more than that. And I think for me, there's three things that we should be working on. We should be working on the educational system. We should be working on the companies, the corporates, and the government, because those three are who contributes to uneven the distribution of economic activity and job opportunities across Great Britain. I think there is systems that have been put in place, as we've heard already in different speech today, but there are systems that have been put in place, and those systems are keeping a group of people on the lower side of the economic power and on the financial power, and they are bringing some other people on the higher side. And I think if we can allow the system to be changed, it will help a lot. So for example, in terms of the education, I think that it should be much more than higher education or people who are teenagers. It should go from the bottom. And from primary school, there should be support that are put in place to show everybody, It doesn't matter where you come from, which level of economic power your parents have or not, where you live. Everybody should have the same support. And there should be even more support for people who do not have extra support at home. That's one thing. And then the second thing that I wanted to talk about was in terms of the corporate companies and corporates. So most of the companies and most of the corporate will tell you that they have the policies, the procedures, they have everything put in place to support and to bring in this equality of gender pay gap and to reduce it. And there are many research or many recent research that have been done that shows that there's a little bit of like a decrease, but really and truly, how can you change things if there is not a higher monitoring of what is being done in companies? If you look at, for example, the government, I suppose that the government should be monitoring even more, and there should be, and this is, I'm coming from my own point of view, I think there should be some kind of fines in terms of what is happening, because if you look in all corporate companies, the big companies, I could share some, but I will not today. You will see that at the top level, there either is really low of women, but there's also really low of people who have disability, really low of people people of different race, different ethnicity. And I think this is something that we need to put in place. But now to come back on the subject of women in particular, looking at some findings from the Equality and Human Rights Commissions, it shows that 60% of women would prefer to apply for a job that has a lower pay gap. And so what is stopping them? I think what is stopping them is that they are working with a system that has failed them as well. So I know that we see the aspect of the companies, the government, but as a woman myself, I feel like the system is completely failing me. So it is in me as well to go and to be able to do things that I can put in place in my world so that I can elevate myself and elevate others around me. So today, I would really love to challenge every woman, wherever they are right now, to create a support system that allows them to elevate themselves and to create for them I would say a financial or economic power through communities like such as G100, but through other communities as well. Can be local communities where you go through. Also other related industry communities. So each and every one in each and economic industry that we are working in, I think it's really important for us to find within that a support system that elevates you. And through that is getting mentors, getting sponsors, getting people who will be, whether a he or a she, who will be able to show you the ropes if you don't know the rope, or even act as a role model so that you can go and break this ceiling. And also another thing, and this will be the last thing for me, but I think that it's really important to work on your mindset, which has been said already, but on mindset and on all our limiting beliefs and all the limiting barriers that are created around us, and to really break them one by one. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you to you, Patience, for this wonderful insight. And it's very difficult to make a wrap up with so inspired presentations, so different from tech, from different words, tech, academic, this witch secret that you bring to the stage, Cobra. That is also something that I welcome, because we are all enlightened with the thoughts of everyone. So everyone is welcome, and everything is that detail that make us shape what is this? A global networking. As I say, 10 countries on a stage, women, men, innovation not for technology precisely, innovation for the way we think, the way we address what is gender equality, our own way. There is no confrontation, there is dialogue, there is exchange, and we're going to continue. This is our promise on the table. We are going to do it with present events here in Madrid, our second present event. We're going to do it in April in Strasbourg. In London, we hope we are going to have another one, and maybe on Brussels. So just follow us, and this is us, a global networking where all the people are welcome. Thank you all. If you wanted to unmute your micro and a very short message, some seconds, and we leave. Yes, please, Susana.
Just see you soon. I hope in other wonderful gatherings like this one. And thank you, Mar and Patience, for bringing this together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Susanna.
Thank you.
Thank you from me as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maggie. Anita?
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, to be continued. In Germany, in Brussels, in Strasbourg, and other places, and virtually. And let's take action. And that's the appeal also from my side, to take action, individuals.
Exactly.
Okay.
For the meantime, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and the new events that are coming, English, Spanish, and Portuguese. For the meantime, let's move in Italian. We need to do something in Italian.
Why not? Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Ciao.
Much love.
Bye.
Bye-bye.